What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the Aerialbots from Transformers Combiner Wars. We have Alpha Bravo, Air Raid, Silverbolt, Firefly, and Skydive. Now we are going to be combining all of these guys into Superion. One word of warning though, Alpha Bravo is actually going to be replaced later this year by an official Slingshot version of Combiner Wars Deluxe. So yes, we have Alpha Bravo right now, but he's going to be replaced. Now this mold for Alpha Bravo is going to be used as blades in the Protectobots line. So just a fair warning that we're going to be seeing this mold again. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're starting with Alpha Bravo and Firefly because they are going to form the legs. To transform them into the legs is pretty easy. To start with, take Alpha Bravo, unhook the rear end of the helicopter mode from the rest of the figure. Sometimes a little bit harder to do than you would want it to be. Fold it down and get it pegged into place on these pegs. And you could turn the tail wing if you want, but I leave it straight. I like to take the propeller blades and actually fold them and get them kind of stuck between these two tail fins here. Come to the front of the figure and get your fingernail underneath the top of the canopy and flip that up. Sometimes harder to do than it looks. Open up the nose cone and flip it around and peg it into the sides of the vehicle mode. And then grab his base and plug him in like that. And there we go, we got one leg. Now for Firefly, he's just as easy. Fold up the tail wings, take the front of the nose cone and flip it out and out of the way. Flip his head around, which I forgot to do on Alpha Bravo. Like that. Oop, we actually want to turn it so that his face is not looking out from between his knees. And then when you do that, it just kind of gets a little wonky bent down here. And then fold the nose cone up and peg it into place. And peg on his combiner port. Oh, and fold up the wings. And there we go. And for Alpha Bravo, turn his head, flip the port around, and peg everything back into place. And we're ready to go. Next up are Air Raid and Skydive, and both of these guys are going to transform pretty much the same way. To start with, for Air Raid, we're going to open up the wings. I just like to do that to get them out of the way. Open up the knees and fold out the legs like we're going to transform him into robot mode. So get those up and fold it thusly. Get them closed up like that. Close them together. And then fold the wings like that. Take the arms, and we want to turn them so that the forearms can bend, and then we will peg them into these little pegs right back here. So there are two ways we could do it. We could do it like this, like that, and that's really the best way to do it for this mold. The other way on some of the other figures is you can actually take the arms and just turn them completely around, keeping his head hidden. Find the bend at his legs or knees and flip out the fists. And there we go. Well, actually, we're supposed to turn him. And, sorry, I keep forgetting about flipping out the combiner port. It's really bad of me to forget that, you know, on the Combiner Wars figures. So, there we go. Ready to go. Virtually the same way, virtually the same transformation with this guy. So fold the wings up, unpeg the arms, flip out the legs, make sure that they are folded correctly, turn the legs. Now for him, we actually have to flip up the arms and then kind of point them out to the back like this. And just get them out of the way. Fold the head up, like so. Get the legs ready, and fold up the tail wing, and peg the fist into place. Flip out the fingers. And he's ready to go. One quick change to the way I like to display Skydive. One quick way to change, one way to transform Skydive, and this is actually the way I prefer it, I just forgot about it, is to actually fold his arms up above his head and then fold them down along the back of the robot mode. Now you can, it looks like you're supposed to be able to peg the fists into these little pegs that are sticking out, but you really can't, so I don't bother. I just leave it like this, and I think it works pretty well. Last but not least is Silverbolt. Fold the tail wing down, flip up the nose cone to, well, the back of the figure. Take the robot arms and straighten them out. You have to unpeg them first. Don't fold the wings up. I always forget about that. Turn them so that they're pointing straight ahead. And then turn them again, or straighten the legs out, turn them again and flip up the fists. And here we have the legs of what will be the combined torso mode. Next for the torso mode, and this is by far the hardest part of the transformation, we have to grab this section here and open it up. And sometimes that's easier said than done. Normally I will grab one of these little orange bits that are sticking out of the chest to flip up the head. And that will slide up there. And then we close the chest, these red bits, and they will peg into place. But before we do that, flip up the Autobot symbol that is now at Superion's crotch to fill in this hole here. Like that. And we're ready to combine. Oh, and flip down the combiner open ports. Now we're ready to combine. Form feet and legs. Form arms and torso. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Autobot Superion. Man, this looks good. This looks really, really good. It works so well. And I think this whole combiner, or Superion, works better than Menasor, in all honesty. And the reason for that, or my reasoning for that, is I think Silverbolt makes a much, much better core unit, or torso unit. While Motormaster is fine, it's just a little floppier, and actually a lot floppier than, well, than Silverbolt is. I think the Superion core looks a lot better. And the coloring works a little bit better with this set. I think the coloring is just a little bit more cohesive. I don't want it to be all white. I do like the fact that Superion is kind of a cream color, while the other guys are different shades of white, red, and gold, and black. And it all just works better than Motormaster does. Now, Motormaster's only outlier is really Drag Strip being bright yellow when nobody else is that color, but that's okay. Overall, though, I think Superion works really well. One thing I really didn't expect, but am pleasantly surprised with, is just how poseable Superion is. I don't feel that I'm able to pull off poses like this with Menasor, but Superion, it works very easily, and when things get out of place, as you just saw, they go right back in place very, very easily. My only complaint with the figure as a whole is that the knees of some of the jets just aren't strong enough to hold up in certain poses, but otherwise it works just fine. After a quick limb swap, you can see that Superion still looks good, even with Alpha Bravo and Fireflight up on the arms, while the other two are the legs. Now I'm really looking forward to having them all be planes. That's just gonna work better, I think. But overall, he works really, really well. And plus you can attach all of the guns in this mode, and it just looks pretty darn good. Speaking of looking pretty darn good, I think both of these Combiner Wars sets are fantastic. And to be honest, I much prefer these over what we've gotten with the third party. Uranus is just kind of garbagey, and Fans Project Menasor is a nightmare to combine. There is a specific reason why I haven't reviewed Diesel and the combination yet. It's just a nightmare to actually put together. While this takes minutes and is lots of fun, and it's just cool. So guys, I hope you enjoyed these video reviews of Superion and Menasor. I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to check out my next video review.